All right, World of Wonder. So today we are going to be doing my official Paradym driver fitting. So I have Mr. Garrett Pond over there behind the Foresight computer. Going to be looking at all the numbers, but we're going to get fully dialed for my Paradym driver for 2023. So World of Wonder, it's driver fitting time. Let's get into it. Here we go. All right, G-Money. So I've hit a couple of drivers already just to get warmed up. You have some baseline numbers there. Now, this isn't for my ego. This is just for the folks at home. It's December, San Diego. I'm not flying, so the numbers are gonna be the numbers. Usually during the summertime when it's warmer out, like if I pound one, I can get it to mid 160s, high 150s, 160s, kind of my ball speed. I don't know if I'll get there today.
I'm glad you're hitting, because I'm feeling the cold too,
It's
man.
cold, but we're gonna do this. This is what we do.
You got real efficient launch spin numbers, and you know, 10 days ago, this driver that's now your gamer, we're gonna try and replace it. That was the latest and greatest.
Yep.
So
Now
with
it's
the
not.
new stuff, we're gonna try and, you know, at least match it and see if we can find some incremental gains. And as a high speed, low digit guy, that's really what you're looking for when you're using brand new stuff or last year's stuff that you got fit for, you know it's working well for you, played a lot of rounds with it. You mainly want to kind of see if there's any little subtle improvements you wish you'd see with the driver.
Yeah, I'm not really looking for, like, everybody wants ball speed, but I'm trying to get stronger to get ball speed and work on how I move my body.
Sure.
I'll get the ball speed through my body, right? But
Yep.
if I could get a little bit more efficient, like my miss is a little bit better, downrange down a little bit better, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And you know, ultimately it's just more center face contact.
Yeah.
Like that's what I would like.
What's your predominant miss on the course?
A no spin block to the right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll hit a couple here.
Yeah, of the shots I've logged from you thus far, there's one or two of those. You did have one kind of pull, low spin. In general, most of your shots are real low spin, and you launch it really, really high as well.
This is an 8.5 triple diamond. Yes, people, I got it off the truck. I'm in the Ventus TR Black 6X. I was trying to get the spin down, actually, oddly enough, a little bit, but this shaft's been working pretty well so far.
You get the internet golfer's dream setup there.
Yeah, I do. Like, I would consider that my miss,
Yeah.
right? It's like still out of the middle of the face, but it's like blocky to the right with no spin. Actually, that had a little bit of spin on it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good flight, really.
Yeah.
You're hitting up on the ball a bunch. Your average launch is 13.5. Your spin, anywhere from, you know, the low ones, high on the face, you're 1800, and your little push fades like that last shot, 2600. So you're in like the range that everyone wants to get launch and spin.
Right.
So really your gains are going to be from dispersion or start line.
Yeah, just
versus
control.
fall line, the control, you know.
Yeah.
The stuff that better players tend to, you know, see and visualize more so than the average the guy tends to.
Like that was pretty stock shot that I just hit
Right over
there.
the target line there, 13.5, $2,000 on the spin.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Perfect. So we want to get more of those basically if we can, and eliminate, you know, I think your right miss is a little more of a reaction to some of the
left
tendencies
shots.
that club has to just hit it a little left.
Yeah, so I'll hit one more. Let me just see. Hit one more. The other thing I don't want to do is I don't want to fight shots either. So like what I've noticed over the last year, like with Epic Speed, for example, I felt like I had a cooked shot. Like I could start it to the right, plenty of spin, the ball would turn over. Rogue, my misses got better, but my stock shots were a little bit harder for me to
They start more left and fall more left, and
to replicate. So
Yeah.
like I found myself trying to shove it out to the right, which in turn,
yeah,
you know, that's just center, you know, as drivers change, center of gravity changes. That's why the Rogue ST Max driver worked really well for a long time. But then I started to spin it a little bit too much.
yeah. The head you got off the truck, you definitely don't overspin it.
No.
It's another one, high launch, low spin, 14.5 on your launch, under $2,000 on spin.
Yeah.
Now, if you had under $2,000 on spin and you were more level with your attack angle and you launched at 10 or 11, we would, you know, either you need to do the gym work,
Right.
you know, tomorrow so
Right.
that your ball speed was faster.
Yeah.
Or you just need to launch it higher. So the fact that you're launching it super high, 14, 13.5, your low ones are 12, matches real nice with your low spin
So my numbers
there.
pretty
super efficient on distance.
Pretty efficient. Okay.
I mean, it's hard to it's hard to shoot a ball out of a cannon a whole lot more efficient for distance when you hit that well. So I think our focus needs to be on feeling like you're not having to push the ball out to the right to get it to start where you want it, and mitigate some of the left-right dispersion. Right now, I'm looking at a dispersion average or a variance of 19 yards from the left shots to the right shots where they land. So we can get that a little bit tighter and see if your start line gets a little bit more consistent.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of players in the early goings of these Paradyms with the triple diamond, a little more fade than the triple diamond that's in your hands now. So I think that's kind of, if I'm reading between the lines, that's what you like in a driver.
Yeah, I like the shape. What I also might want to try is, as far as shafts are concerned, I like how handle stiff the black is. I like how it feels.
Yep.
I feel like it might be a little bit too boardy as it goes down into the shaft.
It's a beefed up shaft for sure. Especially wintertime, sometimes the clubs just feel like they're stiffer and hevier than you want them to be because you're not playing as much.
Because your body's not as limber. So I feel like if I could find, I'd like to try the red at some point.
Sure.
Because I want to feel like I can cover it a little bit more and still get the launch that I'm getting out of the black. Because I feel like if I really try to cover it with my chest with a black, the ball comes out like this.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah, and you got a low spinning, low lofted driver too. Yeah. So the more you're trying to cover it, it could be as simple as just up a degree or two aloft if you like the feeling of covering it where you're not trying to hoist it up in the air. And it's not uncommon for players that want to cover it, see the ball start right, go all the way up to the higher lofted drivers and then open the faces on them.
Right.
Loft it down. And
well, that's kind of what I did with Rogue ST Max is, it's a higher MOI driver, so it's going to launch and spin a little bit more. So it's, 9 degree at 8 degree, but it launched like it was a 10 degree driver.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it so much is I couldn't underspin it no matter what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about that setup. So this is just 9 at 9.
9 degree.
Okay.
Nice. Launched high, spinning to my eye, just what you'd want to see. You're like 3 feet from the target line with 15.5 launch and 2,000 spin.
It's pretty good. I'm not really feeling the shaft, to be honest. I'm having I feel like I'm having to work too hard to.
Yeah, if there was something about that shaft, and it's like, well, maybe we fine tune it, we start going down the shaft rabbit hole and we tip it a little different or less stiff, like you said, see what that does.
I'd rather go to something that's a little softer in the tip, and
this one's kind of softer throughout, really.
Yeah, so this would be stiff. It's just as stiff as this one, but then it gets softer.
Yeah, it's gonna have some more feel, I think.
Yeah. All right, and it looks really cool in this head. It's like the Captain America driver now.
It does look good. It's always important too.
Yep. I pulled the hell out of that one, but that was face getting closed, and I feel like I hit it okay though. Didn't spin at all. All right. That was a weird shot. Let's see.
Pretty good right there.
Yep.
Starting up the right, not curving very much.
Hit it a little bit lower on the face of the ball, not crazy ball speed, but that's pretty efficient. I mean, I like the.
So early average comparison here, you're half a mile an hour faster off the face.
Okay.
You don't have the left miss as much. I think that's a lot, related to the loft. You not feeling like you have to hang back and hit up on it more to get a good launch.
Right.
Because you're not spinning those 8 degree drivers at all.
No, but I'm getting pretty decent spin out of this one.
Yeah, it's perfect spin. It's 2,000, it's 14 launch. Your carry is 2 yards longer. the left-right dispersion now with the 9-degree.
Yeah.
I don't think the shaft's necessarily making a significant difference on how the dispersion's coming off, but
it's got
to feel a little bit smoother to you, yeah?
It feels a little bit easier to square it up.
Yep.
Like, I mean, obviously, you know, as driver fittings go, like, you and I are both kind of gearheads. Like, there's that shaft rabbit hole that we kind of all go on our own. Like, I'll try this one, I'll try this one. But for me, ultimately, like, my biggest thing is, like, what's the right head? And I feel like this, so far,
it's hard to overwhelm the wrong head with the right shaft.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, and the opposite is true. I mean, if you've got, like, the absolute best head for you, you can't make the driver totally worthless with the wrong shaft.
No, that was pretty good there.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hit it great, but like if that's my miss hit, like a little bit off the heel, but it's still spun well.
Yeah, you got 3 yards tighter dispersion on average, left to right.
I just want a driver. Obviously, I want more distance. I can do that, you know, just with my body, but like I want a driver with the ball's in my hand most of the time.
Yeah,
I felt like
it's a little bit straighter. You're a yard longer. That's the difference.
Okay, let me hit one more, and then maybe we'll try the Paradym head just to.
Yeah, this year the low handicappers don't want to overlook the standard Paradym. Nice.
That was good there.
Yeah, really good.
It's pretty efficient there. Okay, so that's so we know that this setup I like the shaft. I mean, I like that whole setup. I mean, there's not the whole lot I would do. I feel like at a baseline, like if that's what I landed on.
Yeah, it's harder. This head's harder for you to hook than your last head. More lofts, harder for you to hook than less loft, which may sound kind of weird, but you're adjusting to the point where you're not hanging back and sort of helping it up. So
yeah, that was a lot easier to square up. Okay, so that's good to know. So right now the contender is 9-degree, just triple diamond.
9-degree triple diamond, a shaft that has a little more feel in it than the one you were using up to this point.
So at this point, it could be this shaft. It could be, you know, Tensei 1K blue, one of the blue profiles, either Ventus blue, something that's got a little bit more play.
Yep.
Based on how
Yep. Graphite Design's got a bunch that you could try.
UB's a good shaft. Yep. Okay.
Paradym. So you got adjustable sliding perimeter weight there.
Okay.
More toward the toe, that's your fade side, as you know. More toward the heel, that's taking some of the fade away. And I would say, in general, the way I would describe the bias of this club, when the weight is set all the way in the heel, which is as much draw as it can play, the club's fairly neutral.
Okay.
So it goes from neutral to like, it's got some fade.
Okay.
It doesn't go from, you know, neutral to has a bunch of draw in it.
Okay.
If you need a draw driver, that's when the Paradym X
will come into play.
It comes into play for players that need some help fading it less.
Okay, let's try this one. It's pretty good there. A little lower.
So you played the Rogue Max driver for a while, right? Like
I did, and I played a lot of good golf with that driver.
Yeah.
And you know, like, you know me, like I like to screw around with stuff. So like the last month and a half, you know, at the end of the summer, fall, like I started playing with a triple diamond a little bit just to see, you know, you always want to see if you're leaving any meat on the table. But as far as efficiency was concerned, I played my best golf with the higher MO I had.
Yeah.
I hit the triple diamond further.
Yeah.
But I played really good golf with the.
Yeah, the triple diamond's a little feast or famine on you.
Exactly.
The good ones are good, and
the bad ones are
That's kind of the trade-off you make with the CG forward drivers or smaller heads in general.
Right.
So this one, you know, with the new construction, all carbon in the middle, it's high MOI, like the oversized driver that you played and had a lot of success with last year, the Max, but it's not quite as big. So the size seems like appeals to a lot of players just visually before you even hit a shot, and then the performance is going to kind of be what you would expect out of a high MOI driver.
Right. That Rogue ST Max driver was sneaky good. It's kind of underrated. Oh. For some reason I'm having, like, I don't know what it is with the optics of this head. I'll hit a couple more.
They're all starting right and falling right for the viewers out there. They're spinning a little bit more, which this should spin a little bit more than the triple diamond, but if it's also spinning off to the right or fading more, that's going to contribute to, you know, the fact that it's spinning a little on the high side. And when it spins more, you launch it way up in the air already. So if you combine that with too much spin, all of a sudden you get a land angle like you'd want if you were hitting into a green.
You get chaos. Yeah,
and you don't want that with the driver, obviously.
I feel like I'm adjusting to this head.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm
too much.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just optically, like I feel like, you know, I might overspin it, or I might. The triple diamond head, I feel like it was.
Well, you're used to the triple diamond. You know, that's what you brought in here. The same head shape.
All right, let's go back to the triple. Let's hit a couple more with that one. That's like, I like, look, like, I'm sure there's a version of that would work, but like when you set it down, like for the people at home, when you set a driver, you have to kind of look like how and trust how it looks first. And
yeah, that's a lot of people, when you have a stack of clubs, whether it's irons or drivers, they'll eliminate half of what they're looking
just
at
on optics.
Just from the way it looks to them. Not everyone's that way. Some players, you know, the look's irrelevant.
Right.
That tends to be the newer golfer rather than someone that's had a bunch of clubs over the years, where you develop things that you like.
Right. Yeah, so my goal with this video, guys, was to land on a head.
Yeah.
Like that was
we got here pretty quick,
We got there pretty quick.
Yeah, and if you don't want more, you'd have to really adjust to the Paradym X, because it's going to spin more.
Yeah.
And it's going to draw easier. So you're going to have to feel like, okay, how do I get this not to spin as much and not draw as much?
But I can make, say for example, if this one was on the low end of spin, I can adjust the weights. I can put the heavy weight in the back, because right now, this has got 14 grams up front, 2 grams in back. I could flip-flop those and make this a higher MOI version if I wanted to build it without having to change the optics of it. All right, let's end on a good one.
Yeah, you get a fairly big throw in center of gravity, enough to notice a difference in how easy they are to hit.
Right.
And definitely when you hit them on launch monitors, to see the spin go up as well. And that's essentially what happens as you move the CG back.
Like that was money there.
Yep.
Okay. Let me hit one more.
Yeah, even your cuts are launching at 14, spinning 2400. It's a perfect launch and spin for a ball that's going to be one of your higher launch and spin shots.
Yeah.
Land angle's still going to give you a roll. And that's one of the cool things about a lot of today's drivers, this one for you in particular, your fade is not so high that it doesn't roll, and your draw is not so low that it doesn't maintain carry. Yeah. That's when a driver's good. Because as a good player, I know you're going to hit both of those shots. You're going to try and play draws when you feel like you need to, and cuts when you need to.
All right, this experiment's over. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so like what's the biggest takeaway for me is like, yeah, like I'm super excited I landed on the triple diamond head. Like that's awesome. I kind of, you know, it's what I like. It's, you know, I like the tour stuff. But the thing that I learned here, and I always kind of learn something when I talk to him, but you know, we all react to heads in a different way, and we all react to loft in a different way. And what I've kind of picked up through this whole process is like, this part of the shaft, like this part of the club we can figure out as we go.
Yeah.
You're a big head, like club head guy. Like the shaft to you is like kind of like personal preference, and it doesn't have like a huge impact on.
Well, the way I would describe it, the head's like a math equation.
Right.
And there's a right and wrong answer, you know, to that. And the shaft's kind of like an art project.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
You know,
it's a cool way to look at it, though.
Yeah. So a lot of trial and error with shafts. I wouldn't necessarily see someone have a big miss left or right and say, well, you got the wrong shaft, or you're spinning it too much. I'd say, what's going on with hit location? What's going on with face angle? What's going on with the design of the head, the CGs of the heads, and solve that equation first, and then play with shaft.
So as you can see right now, like, so 9-degree triple diamond, just an NS, maybe play with the weights a little bit depending on how I go, but like this is definitely the head of all of them for me.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely needed more loft than your last driver.
Okay, cool.
On this model.
So if you have any more questions on Paradym drivers, hopefully I'll get to work with him a lot more. This is actually my first official Callaway fitting that I've ever done. So you shake your hand. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the show. Like I said, any more questions, go to CallawayGolf.com, World of Wonder website. I want to thank Garrett for all of his time here at ECPC. It's paradise down here, but we landed on Paradym triple diamond 9-degree. And at some point on social media, I'll kind of let you guys know what I land up the whole thing. But like, we're in business.
Good place to start. And I would say too, as a good player, you can get what looks like the right head on the driving range fairly quickly.
Right.
And like the fitting really doesn't end there. You go to the golf course.
That's the final frontier.
Yeah, and higher handicappers, you might not say that too, but you know, when we get a tour player here for sure, they say, okay, yeah, this looks good. Now I got to hit it on the course and see how it is there, because it can feel a little bit different there. You get a little pressure under, you know, you get a little under the gun with pressure.
Right.
And you want to make sure it does what you feel like it's supposed to do there. So it's a process that you should go through, and it starts on the, you know, on the range with the launch monitor, and you know, sometimes you need to fine tune it after that. But
so my goal is
you're in a good spot to start.
My goal is to have one driver all year, like find the gamer, and because you know me, dude, like I'll swap drivers like crazy. It's just to get the one, and that's it, and just go play golf. We'll see if that happens, folks. It's Johnny Wunder, Garrett Pond from ECPC, Paradym Driver Fitting. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're out of here.